most of the mangoes in the store will be from ours. Mango's the #1 thing we grow.
You know, all the old heads got behind Robert from Robert is Here, and now we're buying from the grandchildren of those guys.
When I first started this craze of growing mango trees personally, your dad's favorite mango, and this was the late 90s, he always told me was Ken.
It still
he
is.
loves Ken. It still is after all these years.
His mind ever.
They see great big avocados.
Great big avocados.
They see great big mangoes. They have mangoes that are absolutely unbelievable.
A lot of people, they go to school and they get a job and they make big money, but everyone comes back to the farm. We never left the farm. This is how we provide for our families.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. I'm here with Robert from Robert is Here Fruit Stand. Thanks for stopping by and being on the show.
Oh, well, we glad to be here. Apparently, you told me from hundreds of years ago, you know, we were communicating together at the same thing, you know, but
This is where it all started for me, folks. I used to come down from New York and drive to this place, this amazing fruit stand that we're going to see today, and see the farm with his sons. And I learned all about exotic fruits from this man here and this place here. I'll show you around the fruit stand. He also ships fruit in the mail. If you're in South Florida, you have to come visit this place. I'm going to talk to Robert right now, and we're going to go see the farm and see the shop here. How many days a week are you open?
every day. The only days we close are Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. And that's just recently. My wife has put her foot down.
Okay.
Closed those 2 days.
So you used to be open all these years?
60 years in a row, we were Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Wow.
All year long.
Well, this place is truly amazing. You're going to see that now. Thank you for the great work you do.
Oh, thank you. You did great.
I am back where it all started. This is Robert is Here Fruit Stand. And I'm going to interview Robert today. And I'm also going to go to a farm where he grows many of these fruits with his sons. But we're going to look around here and just take a look. And it was back in the late 90s. I used to come on out here and I used to taste and learn about all the tropical fruits. And it's come full circle for me here. So I'm going to show you some of the things they have here. Most of the things here are locally grown, but not everything. And you have some watermelon. They have sapodillas here. They have beautiful signs. They have passion fruit. And this is everything that's in season right now. Canasteel. So they get some other stuff from other places, but they have Monroe avocados in season right now. All right, so here we are. We're finally at Robert is Here Fruit Stand, and here is Robert.
Hello, how are you?
All right, Robert, I've heard your story, and it's been amazing. So briefly tell everyone how this place started.
Do you want me to tell it?
Yeah, tell it, because I like the way you tell it.
When I was a little guy, my dad found himself dead broke. And he put me on the corner right where we're at now with some cucumbers that weren't selling on the market. And I sat there all day long on Saturday. This was November, the second Saturday of November in 1959. I was 6 years old. And I sat there all day long, and absolutely nobody stopped. And when he picked me up that night, my dad and my mom were talking. You know, you can't believe that no one stopped. My mom says you got to make them more visible. So the next day she put up a sign. My dad put up a sign. Just said, Robert is here. And I sold out and walked home. And this is 65 years later. And they have locally grown Thai bananas at a good price too. These are the best tasting bananas. They have papayas. These are Red Lady papayas. Well, when did you start to realize, like, this isn't just a business opportunity, this is like really something bigger than that? It's not a realize. It was just, we were going along, and it's something I've done all my life, and if you're doing something, you're naturally wanting to do better and bigger. Why, I don't know, but bigger seems better, but it gets over my head sometimes. But I think that the interesting fruit is what made my place interesting to a lot of people. Because citrus, when I got married 43 years ago,
when citrus was 80% of our business, and I had been raised in the tropical fruit. Our neighbor was John Tower. He's got a lot of avocados named after him, a lot of mangoes. Tower 1 avocado, Tower 2, and he would be in the Caribbean all the time, bringing budwood over from all the different tropical fruit. That's where I got my first guanabana. He brought over some guanabanas, and just tropical fruit always intrigued me.
They got star fruit. Now during mango season, this place is loaded, but right now it's not mango season, but they bring mangoes in from out of country.
Was your dad as much into the tropical fruit?
No, my dad he is not too much at all. My dad was he was working in his own job, and he got out of the farming, and he went into the flood control management. And I just did what I had to do.
And then right now, black sapote is in season. A bunch of black sapote.
From standing on the corner with the cucumbers, when did you or your dad say, we're going to get that property and build a shed there or something?
No, I bought the property long after Dad died.
So long after. So how many years from the day you were standing there did you end up getting the property?
Dad passed away in 75.
So you were out there in 59?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
I was out there at 75. I think I'd already gotten married, so it was after the 80s. I think I bought it in 83 to 85.
Did you continue to stay out there all that time, or?
Oh yeah, every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you got this.
I had built the building on the property while renting it, so I had to buy my building that I built from the person who sold me the land. Luckily, I persuaded him to let me buy it. I didn't complain about the price.
Oh, so you were renting it first, and then
your 1 year leases
for all those years.
All those years.
And then you ended up approaching them to buy it.
Oh, I approached him every year until he told me, yeah.
Wow.
Make your way to the counter.
Canisteel's in season right now, locally grown. I love coming to a place where you see signs that says locally grown.
What's the first fruit tree you ever personally planted?
Avocados.
Avocados?
Yeah.
And what's your favorite avocado?
Well, the best tasting avocado of all avocados are a little unknown variety that it's called a Lulu. They have a great big seed.
A Lula.
I guess Lulu.
Lulu, okay.
Yeah. Lula is a tropical fruit. It's a yellow, almost like a canistel.
Okay.
But sorry for the noise.
That's all right.
The Lulu has all the negatives. It's a little bit small. It's got dirty looking skin. They scab up real bad. It's got a great big seed. It just has the most magnificent flavor of avocado. Although the Monroes are very close, and Monroes are absolutely beautiful. And they're smaller seed. They're very, very sellable. Very proud to grow them.
They have sugar apples.
This is the most absolutely incredible milkshake.
They have some fresh sour tamarind.
What fruit grows the most on a yearly basis throughout the year that you carry?
You talk about producing.
Producing in terms of the longest season fruits here in South Florida.
Well, they all have a relatively short season. Almost all tropical fruit are 6 to 8 weeks. And then you got varieties that'll be early and varieties late. So the most they're going to have is 3 to 4 months of any variety. Lychees is about the shortest. Mangoes is one of the longest. Canistels and sapodillas have 2 seasons, so that's kind of cool. And you get them wintertime and you get them summertime, and that's exciting to have different people come in. Not all people come in the wintertime, don't come in the summer. Yeah, you know, and it's cool to have tropical fruit that come in the wintertime, like sapodillas and camistels.
Buy them. Amazing. So this is ugly fruit. And it talks about the fruit as well. It's a cross between an orange and a tamarind and a sweet grapefruit. And here's the different dragon fruit. Look how big that is. And that's red inside. We have more sugar apples. These are smaller than the other ones we looked at. From your customers, what fruit gives people the biggest surprise? Like the things
They see great big avocados.
great big avocados.
They see great big mangoes. They have mangoes that are absolutely unbelievable.
That blows them out of the water.
Long. Yeah, they just go crazy. And the Indian people love the chico, and our chico milkshakes are incredible. We put chico with banana and coconut. It's just unbelievable. You know, it's improvised all our milkshakes. You know, it's got to turn everybody away from strawberry to tropical fruit.
But they also do some juices here. They even sell fresh coconut meat. Amazing. A lot of preserves. This is what they do with a lot of the fruit and other things. They have a lot of pickled fruit locally with their own label. All right, and this is Robin. And Robin's going to be taking us around to some of the farms today.
That's right.
Are all these tomatoes local?
They're coming from Immokalee right now. Our season locally, Kern Carpenter will have them probably about just a week or so after Christmas.
Okay, what about all the produce? Does it mix some local and
Christmas
some
to
not?
Easter is our growing season for produce primarily. Squash, zucchini, and green beans and all that stuff has already started. But typically it's Christmas to Easter. We do have tropicals right now. It's kind of unusual. We have sugar apples right now. But sapodillas, mamey will be starting up in February. Guavas are almost year round. But the end of May, once it starts raining, that's when we kick off mango season. Lychee, longan, wax jambu, monstera deliciosa, all the fun tropicals.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the trees.
Yeah.
Forward to it. All right, everybody. So here we are. We're here in Homestead, Florida. We just came and we're going to be looking at this place today. Robert is here, fruit stand, and this is Robert and Brandon, and their dad is the owner of Robert is here fruit stand. Great story. I'll be telling you about that. But how you guys doing?
Doing well. Getting ready to, excited to show you what we got going on over here.
Yeah, so let's go over this. So we have the fruit stand, Robert is here fruit stand.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the story of your dad, and I'll tell everybody that, but in the old days, I remember the local farmers used to bring their fruit to the fruit stand, right?
Yes, sir.
And now you're going to show us today several places that you're growing a lot of fruit. So how much of the fruit at the stand is from your farm versus from local growers?
We always have other local growers on top of ours. We have about 40 acres that we farm. And, during mango season, we'll have, most of the mangoes in the store will be from ours. Mango's the number one thing we grow. But we have avocados, jackfruit, guanabana. We have a little bit of everything, but we're been blessed enough that where we need more volume than that. So, we've got people that, they have a 10-acre grove or they've never had another customer. We've bought everything from there. So, these are people that are friends of ours that grow how we want them to grow what we need them to grow, and, we always...
And we like supporting the young guys,
or smaller farms.
Last year there was a kid that grew jackfruit, and he bought his first pickup truck by growing the jackfruit that he had in the backyard. His mom and dad let him plant the whole perimeter of their backyard, and that's exactly what my father was when he started off as a young man. The local neighborhood got behind him, and my grandfather, started my dad off selling cucumbers. But local farmers driving by would see this chubby little 6-year-old keep showing up with his cucumbers, and they would drop off avocados, and they would drop off, squash and zucchini. And so it's kind of cool, all the old heads got behind Robert from Robert is Here, and now we're buying from the grandchildren of those guys.
Yeah, wow.
So progress and everything's being bought up, but we're still a tight-knit community, and 100% love to support the little guy farming.
Well, I know your sales, the place is always crowded, which is amazing, but
Yeah.
You also ship in the mail, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to come on here, because I tell all my friends up north, you have no excuse. You don't have to have a farm to taste amazing fresh fruit.
Right.
So they ship. Their website's below in the description. But how much of the stuff you sell would you say is through the mail versus locally?
It's probably like 70-30 still. Walk-through traffic is huge. But I will say social media has made it to where, we send a video out showing mangoes, and, we ship a lot more mangoes. So, yeah, social media has upped. It's a way we can get busier without increasing the foot traffic throughout our store, which is kind of nice because our name is much bigger than what our store is.
Yes.
So we can increase volume without increasing foot traffic with the mailing.
When I first started this craze of growing mango trees personally, your dad's favorite mango, and this was the late 90s, he always told me was Kent.
It still
He
is.
loves Kent. It still is after all these
Can't change
years.
his mind otherwise.
Well, when I first came out here, I used to call you up all the time.
Yeah.
What is your favorite variety of mango? And you always told me.
The Kent mango still is.
Kent mango.
Yeah, still is.
Now, I know it's off season right now and you ship to Kenton from other places, but there's so many new varieties out now. Do you only stock Kent, or do you get the new ones in as well?
We get other, yeah, okay. So we've become, and I think to mango's benefits, I think we've become a little snobbish on mangoes. There's a new variety that's the best variety. There's not many people that have eaten more varieties than I have. And they're all fabulous, and the new ones are good, but there's not much differentiation between the coconut cream and the yada yada and whatever else. They're all kind of pretty much, when someone finds a mango that doesn't have fiber, it blows their mind, and so they want to propagate it. It's funny, most mangoes don't have fibers. It's just that the Tommy Atkin does, and so we associate it with being something special when we have one that doesn't.
Right.
There's tried and true varieties. The Kent is fantastic, but it's not.
Mahachanooks.
Yeah, the Mahachanooks are a relatively new one for us on a commercial scale. They're fabulous for an early mango.
It's an early variety. That's what's good, because we already grow Kents and Kits and Valencia Prides.
Yeah.
And that's in July, August, and a little bit of September. But man, the Mahachanooks,
they're
we
good.
planted a bunch of those, and so now we'll have them, end of May, June.
It'll be some years before we have our own on those. But we had
as much as I like the Kent, like something like a sweet tart, there's a big difference in the taste of those things.
There is, but the Kents are the most consistent and very sizable. You eat a Kent, or if you sell a Kent, there's a dent in your pile.
Yes.
Where a lot of these other mangoes, they're wonderful, but there's tiny little things where you got to sell 50 of them before you do anything.
Or there's only 1 or 2 fruit on the whole tree every other year, and that's the biggest problem. What I would see is that if you're going to talk someone into planting a tree, oh, what's the best one to plant? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. What's the best tasting, or what's the best one to plant?
Sure.
Because there's 2 different things, and a lot of times they intersect, and those are the ones you want to plant.
Right.
The Kent is a high quality flavor mango, high quality texture that produces consistently in a voluminous amount, and they're fantastic.
They stay clean. It's not like the Kit where you got the Kits. If you're not spraying the Kits, you're not going to want to.
Yeah, a lot of the new hybrids have as a parenting either the Kent or the Kit that has the characteristics, which is good. Now, before we get started on this tour, where I am up in West Palm Beach, Kent has a bad name because of the bacterial black spot that it gets.
They all get them.
I was going to say, unless you're on the coast where you're getting like the saltwater breeze coming in and it keeps the powdery mildew at bay.
Or in Ecuador in the high plains desert. That's why theirs are so beautiful. They don't have any humidity.
Yeah, if you got humidity around, you're going to get spots. I don't care what mango you pick. Everything, and the truth comes out when it gets ripe.
Right, yeah.
Everyone says, oh, I'm organic, this, that, and the other. I never spray and my fruit's beautiful. Let's eat it when it's ripe. Come to my dinner table and let's eat.
Pick those clean mangoes when they're supposed to be picked, when they're nice and firm, because you're not supposed to let a mango ripen on the tree.
Right.
It can be done, but pick them when they're ready to pick. Put them on your kitchen counter and see what happens.
Right.
They will turn completely black.
That's when the truth is told.
It's got it on there. Now, success is when you harvest when they're mature, and they can sit there for a week, 10 days,
and it's clean.
Turn beautiful ripe, and not one spot on there. That's how you know that you've done what you're supposed to do in the farm.
That's the difference. I always say rich farm, poor farm. You know, a rich farm, the guy is going to has to spray because they're for sale. You know, you can't sell muddy red Corvettes at the car dealership. Well, the same thing. You can't sell a Florida red that's freckled full of spots like a Hayden.
Florida Red is another one. I don't know if you know. You probably don't know that one.
Haven't heard of it.
It's a Hayden and a Kent combined. It's an early variety Kent.
Wow.
And no one grows it but one individual.
Wow.
Yeah, they're
And
good.
that is the Mac Daddy because it has the consistent flavor of a Kent, but it has all the yellow and beautiful red blush that everyone enjoys with the Hayden.
It's prettier than, it's bigger than a Tommy.
Yeah.
And it's prettier than a
Have you
Hayden.
tasted a lemon
It's
zest?
fine. Yeah,
They're good.
Yeah,
it's
they're
tolerable. It goes
Lemon
back to
meringue, you know.
it goes back to my we've gotten way snobby. They're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay. I don't
Oh, I'm
know
the
why-
biggest snob.
I don't know why it bothers me. I don't know why, but it does. You know, everyone's, you know, all these people. When there's too many choices, people end up making the poor choice.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
Now, speaking of which, so with what you just said, your trees here, do you spray them?
Yeah.
Because
Oh
we
yeah.
just
When we have fruit on the tree, we have to spray. You know, for powdery mildew.
Sure.
So sulfur and
It's way too humid here.
And,
to not.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So
Now, like up at the Deering Estate, right off of right on the what is that? Not what road? Old Cutler.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's right on the ocean. They get that saltwater breeze coming in off the east, off the water, and so they don't get powdery mildew. They have giant Hayden trees. Can't even pick the damn things; they're so tall.
Yeah.
But they're all clean because they all produce. They don't get burned up. The flowers don't get burned up with the powdery mildew.
and over the years, have you tasted unlimited amounts of varieties?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. But the difference in the 300 different varieties of mangoes, avocados, there's 2,000 varieties of mangoes. That doesn't thrill me too much because it makes my life miserably hard. The more varieties I put in the store, everybody wants me to describe flavors. And you just can't describe flavors. You can tell someone how wonderful you like it. And you like durian, and I think durian is horrible. So I don't really trust your judgment, and why should they trust mine? I just get the varieties that people seem to like and try to stick it to 1 to 2 varieties at a time.
So we're getting into the Donnies over here, and you can see I've got some younger trees. I've been replanting as fast as we can, but they're dying off almost as quick.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be done planting avocados, you know, as far as replacing. We're going to start popping guanabana trees. They like a little windbreak. They grow well. You'll see over in our mangoes, we started planting guanabana in between. And I have some thoughts on shading and everything for the mangoes. But as far as the guanabanas go,
They love it.
they love it. They thrive.
So, is there any particular variety of guanabana that you prefer to grow?
They grow worldwide. They're grown by seed. You know, here in the States is really the only place that we try to graft guanabana and graft jackfruit even. Worldwide, where the stuff is from, they grow them by seed. They hold pretty true. We have some of those. We have some that the seeds came from Colombia. The fruits, the big. We had like a 23. He's got a picture.
But as you grow something like that, I mean, do you say we got to graft this one because it's amazing, or do you just
Popping seeds? Popping seed. You know, maybe we'll get there. If we can get those big Colombian ones to go, that would be one to
We
make the
saved
effort.
the seeds from those big
okay?
and planted them.
Is that a good seller for you, the guanabana?
Guanabana, yeah. It's
Okay.
big. Well, it treats cancer. It kills
Yeah.
cancer cells while leaving your good cells alone. So
How do you water all your trees here regularly?
avocados, when they get fruit, yes, but the mangoes, you never want to water a mango.
So when do you stop watering the mango? You plant a mango tree. After how long do you stop watering it?
If you plant a mango tree, let's say you planted it in May, you would put, dump 5 gallons of water on it for the first 2 weeks, and then your summertime should keep it pretty watered. After that, once it's established, never again. Don't water and fertilize. Mangoes do not like water. Okay. In fact, on some varieties, like the Kit, it's almost like poison. Because our water is too alkali, and they do not like it. I learned that after Irma. They got a bunch of salt water dumped on them, and they were just sickly, and they throw beautiful new leaves, and then they would blacken up. We call it dieback. And we got the soil tested, we got the leaves tested. all yacht. It turned out to be watering.
I like that. I like to grow. When our avocados start dying, me and my sons talked about it. We've been replacing with avocados and trying to keep the good old avocados going. And we decided this last year we'll replace them all with guanabana. So in between, we have dead avocado, we put a guanabana. Just it makes it hard to pick them.
Yeah.
But I planted a full grove of guanabana and lost every one of them. They're in a really bad cold snap. And that was totally upsetting too. They were a year away from just starting to go crazy. They were huge and green and big. Branches were getting big. And 3 days, 4 days of massive cold took every one of them out.
Can you keep guanabana trees short, or do they all get super big?
So, no, it doesn't matter. We can let them get tall, but I don't know. When they get tall, you got to pick them with a cherry picker.
How close would you recommend planting them?
They don't mind being close. I planted them I don't know if you saw. He's got them in between the mangoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how close can somebody get away with?
They can go side by side, put 20 foot apart. Yeah, that's plenty close. Yeah.
And if people want to grow a fruit tree on their property, what would be your number one advice for them?
If you're down here, I would grow guanabana. They're incredible. There is no better tasting fruit. It will let you down when it get cold. It'll die on you. And they don't like hurricanes too much. But neither do other trees. But the cold weather raises hell with them.
Do you guys grow mamey?
We don't. I tell you what, I wish we did. There's a lot of work to it.
Thieves is the biggest
Thieves
thing.
is a big one. Thieves is a big one. But one
Like
of our
thieves, people stealing them?
yeah, coming and stealing.
Okay.
This is why when you buy a mamey, people want to scratch the skin to make sure. It got bad because people were stealing the heck out of them, and you have this year's fruit, next year's fruit, and the year after's flower, all the same tree, all at the same time. And so when they're in there with their ladders and they're stealing,
They don't have time to scratch.
they're just picking all the biggest fruit. But they could be picking this year's fruit, but they also could be picking next year's fruit. And then
So they can actually come into groves and steal.
Oh yeah,
100%. Every mamey picked is a mamey sold,
Yeah.
legal or not.
man. My dad sold the grove right over here because I was driving around. I think we were both driving around
four-wheelers,
on
yeah.
four-wheelers as security to Lychee Grove.
Yeah.
And they were waiting for us to pass by, and then they were jumping in the grove and stealing while we were in there.
Wholesale price is like $8 a pound.
Yeah.
So you get in there and
What
steal
about-
5 trees, you got to pick up
Wow.
trucks with
So
you.
let me ask you guys, everyone has a different main goal of growing trees. For me, I got a small yard, but it's my food because it's all I eat. So I want to make sure I got a lot of varieties and what can grow small. What's your main goal? Is it commercial selling it? Is that your first goal when it comes to fruit trees?
Healthy and productive.
Right. This is not a hobby.
Yeah,
This is what we put food on the table with.
yeah.
A lot of people, they go to school and they get a job and they make big money, but everyone comes back to the farm. We never left the farm. This is how we provide for our families. So you want a tree that's going to be healthy, productive, and consistent.
Yeah. So you do that by choosing what you grow, choosing how you grow it, and then maintaining its stewardship of the groves. Everything has to be done correctly, and one mistake here or there could affect years down the line. Depending on what we're talking about.
Look
We don't-
around here.
We don't use herbicide anymore.
It looks like a golf course out here. I don't care who other farm you go to.
Yeah.
I challenge you to find someone else's farm that look as well manicured.
No herbicide anywhere, and it looks like this.
You
It's
know,
a lot of man
You
hours.
picked a random Thursday to come out to Robert is Here.
Yes.
And here we are standing on it. Looks like a damn golf course.
It's beautiful.
It's because this is what we do for a living. This is not just a fun toy that a YouTube channel or anything like this. This is what Robert is Here
It's
does
got to
for a
produce.
living.
It's got to pay. It's got to pay some bills because we put a lot of money into this.
This is 65 years in the building.
But on the same note, you're planting like seedlings, and that might turn out great, but it might be a low-producing tree that doesn't taste good. You're taking a chance.
On which thing?
On anything.
On
no, that's jackfruit.
Yeah.
just
Just
jackfruit. And
jackfruit, okay.
jackfruit are pretty much money every time you throw one.
Right, because the blender doesn't discriminate texture if it's
Oh, because
mushy.
you do smoothies. That's
Even
why.
if it's a mushy, I wanted
There
to
you
find the mushy one that
The
I had.
flavor of the mushy ones are sometimes far superior
They're
than the
better.
crunchy
It's
ones.
just that the texture's wrong.
Hey,
so even
God.
if they're soft, I can.
Man, I
clean
enjoy a mushy one because, like I said, milkshakes.
And also fair enough, you have enough space where you can experiment with new seedlings. Where somebody like me, I have a small yard, I can't afford that space to just try something and see if it works.
On a mango, yeah.
On anything, I mean, the
Mangoes,
seedling
you
of a-
can't do it at all. Like when I talk about
Yeah.
growing from seed, I'm talking about things that are traditionally worldwide. This is how it's
close
done.
true to seed. Yeah,
Jackfruit, guanabana, even sugar apple, worldwide
Yeah, yeah.
is propagated through seed. And so you're playing Russian roulette, but
What
you know,
about sapodilla? What's your experience?
you got to buy
with-
grafted. There's a bunch of new varieties, and they make fruit fast. And man, you can have fun with that.
Traditionally, what's been your favorite selling and tasting varieties of sapodilla?
Moreno.
Yeah, Moreno, Hacia, Alano. I don't like the OX. They're too big and gangly. When they get ripe, they fall in on each other.
Yes.
And the texture is not as quality.
Right.
But the Moreno is hard
Have
to
you
beat.
tried the new butterscotch?
I have not.
No, you've
I have
heard of
not.
it though, yeah.
I actually have not heard.
Oh, really?
Not heard of the butterscotch
yeah,
one.
it's super big, and
Big is not always best. That's
I
like
know,
what
but
I
this-
mentioned with
I
the
mean,
OX. Yeah,
it's supposed to taste amazing. I have a tree loaders for the first time. I'll see how it is.
yeah. It's one of those things where new variety.
Everybody wants to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
and
what
are on the-
sometimes that's like just marketing, but sometimes it's true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, well,
Could be.
I tell you what's good about the the varieties that I mentioned. You could plant them at a 3-gallon pot size, and you have fruit that following season.
Right.
And you are, you are harvesting you are picking for real within 2-3 years. You're picking to sell.
Here's why I love the sapodilla. You grow the tree, it produces fruit. So when you pick all the fruit, we sell the fruit. And then we have a nurseryman that comes in and pays us for all the air layers that he takes off of our tree. And then we also sell the seeds. So we sell the fruit, the seeds, and the branches. And nobody's getting hurt because the branches are trimmed after we harvest the fruit. The seeds are sold after we've eaten the fruit or made milkshakes out of the fruit.
Oh, waste
And
anything.
then the nurseryman comes in and prunes or trims our
he
trees
gets
so
his
it's not
air layers.
gangly. You're making $3.75 on an air layer, and you got 5 acres. Well, how many branches are on that 5
Yeah.
acres?
So the seeds are used for rootstock.
Yeah.
Got
So
ya.
that's why we love the sapodilla. Sapodilla's been very good to us.
Plus, he likes the wood when they get old.
It's like mahogany.
Yeah.
So after Hurricane Irma, we had a lot of large sapodilla trees go down, and I collect a lot of mahogany. And I'm kind of a mahogany snob, but I've learned that sapodilla wood, when harvested, looks like 100-year aged mahogany slab
Wow.
on day one. It is hard, heavy, dense wood, and just as beautiful red as you can imagine. It looks like filet mignon, medium rare. I'm telling you, when I get into wood, I found sapodilla, and I'm a believer.
Okay. So what about bananas? I saw at the shop you guys had the Thai bananas. Do you guys grow a lot of bananas?
Not commercially. There's a couple people that grow, the plantano burros, the ones that you see hanging. Those are grown here. The Thai bananas, there's a few people that have them there. Bananas is not one that we grow too much of. I would grow the Mysore, but we just don't have
The land.
to. It's something that you grow on the fringes. It's not something that you can.
Yeah.
We're
commercially.
banana farmers now. They just don't. They just not enough turnover there.
Yeah.
And so
Land's too valuable.
I planted a little patch at the fruit stand because I wanted to plant some, and those are. I went to Going Bananas, and I forget what varieties, but there's 4 varieties there. They're fun, but it's not something that we grow, commercially at the fruit stand.
We buy from our neighbors.
Yeah.
Supporting the local neighbors.
Sure. Now on the anonas, what anonas do you grow custard apple? Plus I saw sugar apple. Do you grow custard apple?
We do.
The Red Alama.
Yeah.
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 Well, the red alama, and then there's the.
There's a huge
Well,
family, man.
we call it a red alama, and we kind of put that blanket on all of the custard apple. But there's a very numerous varieties.
It's a large
Yeah.
family.
I planted one. I can't remember the name of it, but it actually you don't pick it until it splits on the tree. That won't be one that we sell, but I challenge anyone to flavor up against this red alama that we grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if I get a special customer that knows what he's looking at, I'll sell him that one. But pretty much that's just private stock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
We got a neighbor that's got a variety of sugar apple that they're just starting to harvest. They just started. They're big and they're beautiful.
Yeah, typically it's August and September.
I don't know the name of the variety. They've gotten the past 10 years that the sugar apple I've seen that's where the new varieties impress me. You know, the new mango varieties, I don't see people adopting. I don't see people
planting 10
acres of that. But the new varieties of sugar apples, people are investing in them.
So
and it's going to be good for the whole area.
if people have a small yard, do you recommend them definitely getting graft, or do you recommend taking a chance with a seedling?
If you're planting guanabana, take a chance. I've never had a guanabana I didn't like. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. You know, if it's an avocado, you want to make sure it's the variety you want. If it's a mamey, you want to make sure it's the variety you want. You got a lot of time invested.
Sure.
That's
Overall, from a taste standpoint, not from a commercial selling standpoint, from a taste selling point, what's your favorite fruit and your favorite fruit?
Ooh, mamey.
Mamey?
Lychees.
Lychees, okay.
I eat more lychees than anyone you know.
Do you have problems here with the lychee mite?
Everyone does.
Everyone does.
And here's the deal. Everyone says, oh, you gotta strip all your leaves and spray it with sulfur and all this. Well, shit, the neighbor doesn't do that. And as soon as I strip all mine off and I spray and everything, the next night, the mites are coming to my tree again.
Yeah.
Especially more so because now it's vulnerable. Now I'm leaking sap from the trees I pulled off. So we say the hell with it. Let nature do nature, and we're gonna have our lychees if we do. If we don't, that's what it is.
Lychees are tough to grow.
And mamey, what's your favorite variety, or you just like them all?
I tell you what,
Magana or
Magana would be I would say Magana is the best variety, but I love a Pace. I love the Pace variety. I think they're fantastic. I'll eat a Plantain. They're delicious.
we call them Key West. Is that the
Key West, Plantain.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The reason we promote the Magana is because when they get ripe, we cut them in half and we wrap them in saran wrap so people can see the flesh on the inside. And it's really consistently
It's like
stable.
pumpkin pie, man. That texture is just glorious. It's hard to beat, and the flavor.
Where the Key West is kind of more mushy, you know, the skin's kind of loose, so when you wrap it, it's juicy. I love the flavor on them, but it just doesn't show and present itself well.
There's some new varieties of mamey from Trek that are out of this world.
I haven't tasted it. I've heard about it, but I haven't
really
tasted
out of this world.
Yeah. No, it's fun. He eats a mamey every day when they're in season.
Yeah, when they're in season, I eat a half a mamey.
Every day, every morning he's eating it for breakfast. But I have one or two a season, and I'm satiated.
One thing I've learned of doing this in all these videos is taste is subjective.
Oh yeah.
That's what I've learned. How much of of your diet consists of the fruit that you sell?
Oh, Lord. They say I shouldn't eat that many mangoes because it's too much sugar. And so I'm not eating that many mangoes. My sons eat mangoes all day long, so that's how I used to do it. I love papaya, and it's very good for you. And I eat a little bit of papaya every morning. Mamey is a good one I like, and so does my oldest son. My oldest son eats mamey every day. Now we don't have it, so he's kind of wait until January, February when they come back in the season for the mamey. And but you know, I try. I lost a little bit of weight by not eating anymore. I eat salads for dinner, you know, with meat. And, yeah, it's not doing well here now lately. With Thanksgiving and Christmas coming, I'm doomed. But I love vegetables. Yeah.
Well, overall, what's your favorite fruit?
Guanabana.
Guanabana.
Yeah. It's just incredible. But I don't eat it every day. I'd rather sell it than eat them.
All right, show us what else you want to show us here in this amazing grove.
Oh, these are 2 little rows of mangoes. They were supposed to be, we had 3 rows of guanabana here. And then, what was it, 2008? I don't know, we had a hard frost. Man, and they were all about that tall, real bushy, deep green. I'm talking they were primo.
Yeah.
And they toasted everyone. Oh.
Yeah, so they don't take the cold too well. So you got some mangoes here.
These are all Kents.
All Kents, wow. Wow. Look at that. And they look, what, 25 feet apart, 20 feet?
These here, this is not a traditional mango planting because
we planted them kind of like the avocado.
Yeah, we kind of just made this work. It was part of an avocado grove.
Okay.
So they are far enough, the rows are far enough apart, but they should be 25 feet and they're only at 15.
Okay.
But we got Canistel over here. This is actually a Trompo variety.
Oh yes, yes.
And I've been happy with them. They get good size and they load up. You know, these, hell, they only been in the ground, what is it, 2 years?
Right.
2 full years?
Do you have any other varieties, or are they all Trumpo?
Just Trumpo. Well, Bruce.
On the
Yeah.
Oh, they also
Oh, on the
Bruce?
fence line
Okay.
is Bruce, yeah. It's a Spanish lime tree. There's like 6 of these
Gnip.
planted in Gnip.
Okay. And then,
Yeah, what we can't actually sell in the fruit stand. Well,
there you go. Feeds the family.
trees and,
Speaking of family, do you have children that you're passing this down to and teaching them how to grow?
yeah. Oh,
Are you
yeah.
interested in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no
There's two
escaping it.
types of family. One that's very interested in it, and one that's not at all.
And that's what you'll find happening around here. A lot of the farmers are all my dad's age, and the kids that don't want anything to do with it, well, the hell, they don't want to inherit an avocado farm that's been, riddled with Laura wilt. So a developer comes in and offers them $1 million an acre, and they just let it go. It's hard, I mean, you can't blame them really, but damn, is it a shame? You know, it's like, man, what one man creates his whole life doing, his whole life's work, is just traded for cash overnight.
It's
That's sad.
it is sad, but it's understandable.
It is.
You know?
When you're looking at 60 acres and you can, let's say you sell out for only $30 million on 60 acres, my God. You know,
Yeah.
that's,
No, there's rows there.
yeah.
Yes.
They're picking up.
So yeah, that's what's kind of started all this big land sell-off, was the Laura wilt destroying.
Yeah,
avocados.
that didn't
And then-
help.
And then
Yeah.
they say, oh, you plant a new one, and then within 10 years, it's not susceptible, vulnerable to Laura wilt.
Well, the young ones aren't, and they grow relatively
How heavy
fast.
fruit then they-
But they die. They die at such a high rate. The older ones, it's.
And then you got hurricane season that comes around, 6 months out of the year, you gotta be on the lookout to get wiped off the face of the earth and then start
Yeah.
all over again. So you can kind of see how it gets done.
So this is about. Well, the house is on this piece. It's about 9-acre grove here. So first row we have Kent's and Hayden's. Actually, no, we grafted them all over to Kent's, but there's still some Hayden's and Glenn's in there because some of the branches came back. We just let it be. So this first row is a little schizophrenic, but the rest of them are kids. Although we do have one row of Malika. The Malikas are, man, it took us forever. Oh, look at that.
Here comes the bloom.
That's
The
it.
bloom's coming, flowers.
Heck yeah.
We're in the last week of December, and you got mango blues.
You come back here in February, it'll look like freaking acne all over the trees, man. Just
Look at
blow
them
back.
coming.
So what were you saying now about the Malika?
Oh man, it took us about 4 seasons to figure out how to harvest the Malika correctly.
Yeah, they're not easy to know when to pick.
Well, I'll tell you the rule of thumb, not the rule of thumb, this is the way it is. Malikas are growing, you got fruit everywhere. The minute you see the very first tree ripe, fall on the floor, or even if it's on the tree, let it get, first time you see a yellow one, you go and you pick half of all your biggest fruit. Doesn't matter how fat they are, doesn't matter how many it is, you're picking half. And then every week you continue to take half of the biggest fruits, and they will ripen up beautifully.
Yeah.
Conventional wisdom is you wait till they, rounded shoulders or a fat belly. People have a lot of different expressions. The Malikas, you can throw that completely out of the window. If you wait till they're fat, they have a rot in the seed, and
Taste it all thrown off.
no, they are completely shot.
So if you get them at the right time, traditionally people wrap them up. Do you just leave them on the counter?
You can leave them on the counter. We just put them in 50-pound or just the bin, 1,000-pound bin, and they ripen.
All that heat on top of each other.
Yeah, they ripen
So
beautifully.
why Malika? Why that variety?
Early.
It's an early season. It's right after, so you'll have the Glens and the Hayden. Well, the Haydens can linger, but you have the Glens and the Pickering
Rosy Golds.
and the Mahat Chinooks. You'll have a lot. There's a lot of early varieties, right? Even a lot of the new ones are early varieties, and so those will happen in, end of May into June, first week of June, and those peter out mid June. Well, the Malikas start, by the end of June into the 1st of July. And so they're before the Kents, they're before the Florida Reds, before the Kits, before the Valencia Prides even.
So they're not competing with what we're really growing.
Right, and so now we have a quality, the early ones are about done. Now I got the Malikas coming in, and they're better than even any of the early ones. And the Mahan Chinook would be the closest.
Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
taste the same, but as far as quality,
A good Malika, man, it's got that nutty kind of creamy flavor.
it's hard to beat a Malika.
Fantastic,
It's hard to believe.
And I used to not be a believer. I used to kind of like, nah, Malika, take it or leave it. But now that we're picking them the right way and
Yeah.
eating them at the right time,
It's crazy. These things can look skinny as heck. I'm talking, no way that's a mature mango. You put it on your kitchen counter, give it a week, man, it cuts so it's tiny little seeds. So that's why it gets away with that. So most of these are kits. The one we saw flowering there is kits. Oh, and then I got guanabanas in between most of these here. Now, it's not ideal for the mangoes to have the guanabanas in here. It cuts into the sunlight, and I am going to have a reduction in flowers because of it. But
So that's a guanabana tree in
Yeah.
between two mango trees.
yeah.
Okay.
so there is some sacrifice with that, but the benefits,
Because you want to get as much sunlight on the mango tree as possible.
right? You want to. That's why you want them spread out. That's why you want to keep them cut and clean. So guanabana. Yeah, they're flowering like
Yeah, you
crazy.
see from this mango tree to that mango tree, you got probably 30 feet or so.
Yeah.
So everywhere's going to get sunlight.
Everything's getting full sun.
Look at these things. They're flowering like crazy up in
Yeah,
there.
no, it's going to be good.
Do you have a lot of problems out here with raccoons and other pests? Squirrels?
Sometimes.
Nah, there's so much out here when we have fruit, you never notice.
That's true.
What about theft on his property with the mangoes? Any issues?
Mangoes is not as much. Like Mamey, man, you can fill a pickup truck relatively quickly. The mangoes, there's not as high a dollar value to them.
Yeah, the wholesale market on my May is so good. You know, you're looking at $2 a pound on the cheap side.
Right.
So you pick a whole truckload, you just made $6,000 quick, you know.
Yeah.
Where mangoes, at best, you're gonna get $1 a pound wholesale.
And probably
So it's just
not that
there.
much.
Yeah. I see some
The flowers.
flowers, yeah, the guanabana here.
So, you and your dad, and how much of your diet would you say is the fruit that you're growing on the trees?
What was the question?
How much of your diet would you say is from your fruits that you're growing?
Much.
Half of it,
Much.
maybe?
At least. I'll eat an avocado for lunch, you know what I mean? I have Mamey for breakfast, and
Right. I graze all day long.
all day long we're eating fruits.
Yeah. I had a mango, a pack of blueberries, and what else did I have for breakfast this morning? I can't remember.
So during mango season, do you freeze a lot of mangoes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For smoothies during the off season?
Mm-hmm.
So you must have piles of Kent mangoes frozen right now, right?
Yeah.
Thousands of pounds.
Now when you freeze them, do you cut and peel them before you freeze them, or do you?
You have to.
No, you don't. You can freeze them whole. But if you're doing the smoothies, I guess it's easy to cut
No,
them.
if you're going to use them,
We thaw and put in
Yeah.
that.
I mean, you can freeze anything, but if you want to use it the most productive way afterwards,
cut them up, skin them. You take it all out. That way you can be ready to eat right now, and it's easy to handle. It's not so mushy and gushy. You're not squeezing the daylights out.
Yeah,
Trying to get
yeah.
the skin off.
Yeah,
It's the best way.
you're prepared with everything. You got.
that's
Very nice. So we're walking here in a mango grove with guanabana in between some of the trees. Now guanabana is probably a valuable fruit to sell, much more valuable per pound.
yes, sir.
Probably one of the most valuable.
That's why I put up with it being in between. When my dad first started planting them in there, I was like, "What are you doing? We're messing up all the light." But
There's another one. Look at that.
I tell you what, they go from flower to harvest quick. Hell, I was just walking through middle of October and I didn't barely see any flowers. And all of a sudden, we've been picking for the past month.
I like seeing all the flowers in the pits right now.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to walk down. Oh, that's a Bombay, that tree.
Oh, look at that. They got a Bombay mango.
That's
How does that a fruit for you here?
Wonderful. That was the first mango I ever grafted, was the Bombay. Look at it flowering like crazy.
That might be the best tasting mango. I think
They're fabulous.
I'd pick a Bombay over a can.
They're fabulous.
Yeah.
My dad, he doesn't like them much.
Really, taste is subjective.
He's so biased.
The Indian style flavor,
Yeah.
that like he likes some Malika, but anything more radical than that flavor,
Yeah,
and it doesn't hit his taste buds
Taste
like
is
it.
subjective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different.
So on the Bombay, it has a reputation in South Florida for not being a good bearer, but this one does fine,
We spray.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We control a lot.
and it does great.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're spraying sulfur and because we're spraying, fungicides and keeping it clean, they fruit well and they get fertilized twice a year.
Yeah.
There's Bombay.
So-
All right.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
If you take care of them, they'll take care of you.
Look at it flower. It's flowering like holy.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. that's gonna kick ass.
Look at this. Man, you smell it? Oh, it smells
Yeah,
so good.
beautiful. Bombay.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, look at them.
So were both of you always into this, or was one of you more into it than the other, and then later on you both decided, hey, we can make money and we like doing this?
It's you live this, you grow up doing this.
Yeah.
There's no separation of church and state. This has been our backyard. We grew up here, climbing in.
Yeah, this isn't a hobby. This wasn't like, that'll be cute and fun. If we did, this is all we know. It's funny though, because my mom made us go to college. We all had to go to college. And we all knew that what we have going on, our story is way too important to the community to let it go on one generation.
Sure.
My dad's creation would be a damn shame to let go on one generation.
Yeah, well, hell, with our kids starting here soon, my eldest is already starting to work. We're 4 generations in on this, and you ask, the kids into farming, it's like, for my kids, there's no escaping it. We've been at 2 different properties, growing them up. The first place, man, I had every tree. I had food every day of the year, much like you with your food forest, and they were a part of that. They always make fun of me. Oh, Dad's out there with his trees.
Water in it.
Yeah. The house is on 1 1/4 acres, so enough to plant some hobby trees.
Yeah.
And I'm into it big time. We're always planting this and picking up that, and it's cool, man.
Yeah.
So,
I plant specialty stuff at the house, but nothing.
got you.
To have fun with, yeah.
Do you think everyone has their price, or is like your dad said, there's no price?
There's
you would
no
never
price.
sell?
Money could not entertain him.
Yeah, no.
But what about you guys?
No,
I don't think so either.
no.
It would have to be stupid out of this moon, and even then, you don't have to.
Yeah, we don't need to.
We're blessed.
100 million.
We're blessed that we don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool that we don't have to.
yeah, we're good.
Everything's paid for. All the land is paid for. And here we get to work side by side. And how does it get old people coming in and tell you how wonderful your place is? Or how they're on vacation to come see you. That's pretty cool.
It's cool.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
If I just went to Joe sitting on the couch, nobody, then that's kind of like,
Money gets spent, you know what I mean? But Robert is here to stay, you know what I mean? Like the idea, the
Robert's
spirit.
not going anywhere.
Yeah, the spirit of it. So long as we keep showing up and doing the there's no telling how long we can go.
It's cool, and there's no blueprint for any of this shit. Like that, there was no idea. There was no.
Yeah, it's the funny one. People, this is a great idea. It's like nothing here is an idea.
Yeah,
It just happened.
Showing up one day after the next, trying to do your best.
we're 65 years deep, and we don't have a 5-year plan where we want to be.
You
You know what I mean? Successful business, a staple in the community. Everyone and their brother comes to us, and we still don't really know where we're headed. We're kind of just solving the day's problems.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah,
It's fun, and that's
it's the whole entity of itself, and it's kind of dictating where it's going. This whole.
and we're only going to get busier as we get more populated, and we get more subscribers.
Yeah.
More people find out about fruit.
Now, do you have a YouTube channel?
We don't.
I don't think so.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
But people can get in touch with you on your website. I'll put that link below.
Yeah.
And you're on social media, Instagram, and
We're on those. We're on those.
Yeah.
so and your children got involved in this, and now your
Yeah.
grandchildren are getting involved in growing.
Their grandchildren tearing up more stuff than they're doing.
But are they interested in it?
No.
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 How does that make you feel?
Yeah, whatever happens, I can't control what people like.
Yeah.
No one can control me.
So
Action, go.
other than my grandparents' 5 acres that they purchased with the house when they moved down here in '52, this is the original farm. My dad bought this when he was 14 years old. He had been buying avocados from the guy, and he thought he was contracting the fruit for the next several seasons, and miscommunication. Anyways, my dad agreed, and then he ended up buying this house for his $27,000 cash for 10 acres, a house, the car, and the lawnmower all came together. And so we've had it since he was 14. I rented it from him when I graduated college. My brother rented it from him when we graduated college before we bought our first homes. And you know, the house is cool. We got some things planted there that, you know, I planted, that he planted. Just, you know, there's a Lancetilla mango and
So this was avocado farm originally?
originally avocado, and then Andrew tore it down, and then we grew okra here for a while. We leased it out, and then in 2005 or 6, something like that, we put this grove in.
Really, you've grown okra with all...
Yeah.
Wow.
Us kids, we were still young kids.
Yeah, I got- yeah,
Can't
yeah.
do everything.
Right. So until we were old enough to help put the groves in.
My God, when the spray regimen is once a week.
Back then, do you know what kind of avocado it was?
Oh man, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
So okay, so then you guys, what you guys put in?
We have 4 rows of Kents. Actually, it's 5 rows because I had some Pickerings, not Pickerings, the Rosy Golds, because they come so early, and the Rosy Gold is wonderful, and they do come early, but you'll get 5% in April, 8% in May, 40% June. You know what I mean? And so you never have enough to harvest to make it worth it for your spray, for your harvesters, for everything. So we grafted them all over to Kents. So now we have 5 rows of Kents, and I think it's 8 rows of Kits here. These are Bruce.
These are Bruce kind of steel.
How big they get, though. The size.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a big in there.
You sell one of these, you sold something. Where they're little, they taste good, but yeah, we're here to sell. And these taste good too.
Yeah, these are planted a little close together. I wouldn't advise doing them at, I think, although I did them at 25, they're huge trees. They need to be at 30 feet, I think, Although we'll see.
They still.
Yeah, until they stop producing, I guess we haven't done wrong.
Exactly, and now, again, you're doing this commercially. If somebody was doing this for their own personal yard, they can keep these trees much smaller and still get enough fruit for them.
Oh yes. But they want to be a huge canopy tree. That's what they want to be.
We sell the hell out of the seeds here too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Not as much fruit on these. I guess these are going to be later.
Loaded, wow.
This one's loaded.
Loaded. So how many farms do you actually have, or plots of land where you're growing stuff?
All of them that we grow on.
3.
3.
Yeah, 3 main.
Totaling 40 acres and everything, or?
Yeah. Yeah, 40 acres. So.
There's some pickerings in.
Yeah, we got a few things mixed in.
And you planted these, so did you have a different planting? Like it looked like they're farther apart?
They're further apart. They're 30 feet, I believe, by 25.
Want this hole when you walk.
Yeah, all cross-trenched, all with the transit and the whole 9. Yeah, watch that hole.
Now, if you had to do it again, do you think this is the ideal spacing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, less is more on the
It
tree.
looks like they're far apart, but if you gotta imagine
Look how much sun's on them.
5 years, 10 years, and it's gonna eventually fill them out.
And not only that, but the sun hits every square inch.
Yeah, one of the farmers that I most respect is Dan Lyons, and his groves are immaculate, but his father planted them a little closer than I think we do these days. And so when he cuts his groves, he flosses them. He goes in between and they cut on the insides to make light, you know, on here. Because right,
you get 360 production.
yeah.
This already has fruit on it.
Yeah, this is a rosy gold.
Wow, look at that. That's the early one, everybody. Look, it already has fruit on it. That's rosy gold. Here we are in December, last week of December, and it already has fruit on it and a bunch of flowers.
Yeah, when we grafted them to Kent, some of the branches, you know, if you don't come through and clip off the old, they just grow.
So from your experience here, if somebody wanted to start growing fruits or have a fruit stand like this in their neighborhood, what would your advice be?
Be prepared to work every day, and you'll be okay. It's three rules, no matter what it is: honesty, integrity, and hard work.
Has there ever been aspirations to open up another location?
Absolutely not.
No?
No, absolutely not.
And why is that?
How much time do I spend now? I get 2 days off a year. So, you know, why would I want more?
Do you realize your business and your lifestyle is unique than
I
most
know.
people?
I know. Yeah.
And with all the time you put into work, I mean, are you like extremely appreciative and thankful of that? Or do you sometimes think, well, my life would have been a lot easier if I took a different path?
Well, what good is easy if you don't accomplish anything?
Yeah.
You know, I got, you know, I don't know. I don't know I do what I do. And that's it. Yeah.
Look at that.
You mentioned cross trenching when we set up our farm. Maybe you can explain to them.
Yeah, cross trenching. I'm sure you know what that is, but that's when you dig a ditch, you make going this way, north and south, east and west,
trench.
and then you make a cut. You plant your plant right in the middle of that cross trench. So the idea is that it anchors itself.
Yeah.
It takes some years before you're starting to see gains, but once they get into the 15, 20, 25 years old,
Storms, they hopefully won't topple
right,
over.
now you got some real strength built in. You know, under 15 years, I've not seen it. It hasn't helped as much.
Yeah.
You really need them. You got to get them established before it. In my experience, you know.
Sure.
But the science says to cross trench.
Yeah. All the old timers when my dad was putting this in, told them trench it, 4 feet down and go.
So the trench is 4 feet down,
4
okay.
feet down, and then you
Oh, yeah.
then you
And
put it all
it's-
back in. And this way the roots have somewhere to go rather than being stopped by the coral rock. They go deep.
Because where you are down here, you have coral rock.
Oh, it's
so-
all. It's like a casing. You know, you dig a hole. It's like digging into a concrete slab. You know, and
So
so
these trees, if you don't do the cross trenching, they're all just sitting right on top of that cap rock.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 4 inches of topsoil, so they're not really locked
yeah,
in.
if you're lucky, it's 4 inches.
Yeah, we don't have that issue near me.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
You can't even dig. There's not a whole lot more past you right
There it is.
Wow,
White rock.
wow.
There's no soil here.
So when you trench it, you break that?
Oh yeah, you
Cross
break.
all that down, and then you plant right in the intersection. So you look where all the rows of trees are. That was a trench. And so you just plant in the intersection of each cross, and
Wow.
that's where your roots are gonna find deepness to hold on to and lock into the rocks deep down.
So is this whole grove mangoes?
Yes.
mangoes.
Yeah, I have star fruit over here and like a different little patch, a little 1 acre.
We're gonna transition that into sapodilla or mamey or.
We're not quite sure.
Put it all out yet.
All right, everybody, there it was. Amazing video. I'm so looking forward to coming back on the farms and seeing them in the summertime and doing another video here at the fruit stand in the summertime. Robert, this place is great. Thank you for all you're doing.
It's my customers,
Yes.
People come in and give me tips on what to buy, what to sell, and see if you can get this, see if you can get that. You're throwing names at me with different kinds of mangoes and different kind of mamey, but when you're doing this for a living, you really don't want to have too many varieties because it drives people nuts.
Yeah.
You know.
Keep it simple.
Well, the customers are asking you what's the difference, and I like to tell you, can you explain the difference between a duck egg and a chicken egg and flavor? I guess there's words to be able to put, but it's, if you're doing citrus and tropical fruit, different kind of, there's 2,000 mango varieties, hundreds and hundreds of varieties of tropical fruit have hundreds of varieties, and it's mind-boggling.
Wow.
But it's fun.
Thank you for making all this food available for all of us
We
and
try.
everybody. I'm going to put the link below.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. And if you want to contact Robert, he has a phone number on the website. Sometimes he answers the phone. He has a staff here that
Yeah.
will always answer the phone. Amazing place. Check out their website. But again, it's worth the trip. They're close to the Miami airport. You come down for the weekend, hop in a car, come on down here. It'll blow your mind. And the great thing is, they ship in the mail fruit, all exotic fruits.
Yeah, it's fun.
Great. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Put your comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.
This is near the fruit stand. They're just planting a whole bunch of new fruit trees. They have some avocados. Some other fruit trees that they're planting there. So these are all babies to grow up. There's all coconuts along the front. And there's their fruit stand.